Today's Cowboys Report is sponsored by True Classic at 25% off when you use promo code CHAT, C-H-A-T, at trueclassic.com/chat. I'm rocking one of their polos, and they make for the perfect Father's Day gift, something your dad actually wants and will wear, as opposed to, another tie that he's not going to wear in the end. Now, today's show is a Cowboys roster breakdown after a fairly critical, as we've said this for years now, but that's what happens when you're in contention status, fairly critical 2023 offseason, and we will look at how the roster compares to last year. Where did Dallas get better? Where did they get worse? We begin at quarterback. Where else would we begin, right? Quarterbacks, they're just going to run it back. There have been no changes. I know that may sound a little awkward. Quarterbacks running it back. Running back, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. It's the same. You're banking on fewer turnovers from Dak Prescott, which I think is a solid bet since he hasn't been a turnover guy in the past. Cooper Rush is back as quarterback 2 and is there for any rush magic the Cowboys would somehow need. And quarterback 3 is still Will Grier. They wanted a young guy, did not find one in the draft. Prescott's interception numbers did jump last year. And if he does that again, that is going to be a fairly significant red flag. You might have seen Dan Orlovsky look at these numbers over the past 33 games, whatever it was. Right in line with Mahomes and Burrow and Herbert and Allen, as apparently Dak's numbers were bad, but those numbers are good because when you go looking for certain stats, you can present in a way that doesn't maybe reflect reality there. The turnovers have to get better. Given the previous seasons, I think they will end up getting better, especially if the receivers stop dropping passes directly off their chests. Now, if you love the Cowboys, that's what we all want, right? Whether we agree on various players or not, we just want the Cowboys to win. So if you want that for America's team, show me by liking today's video right now. To running backs, this year versus last year, I'm going to go with younger. Notice I did not necessarily put down better or worse because I'm not sure what they will be. Tony Pollard, I'm not worried about his injury. He should be fine. Plenty of time to get healthy there. More than enough time. I'm a big fan of Deuce Vaughn, who's a 6th-round pick. Ronald Jones didn't play much last year. Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, Hunter Lipke. That's a very young running back room, which is normally valuable. But how much more volume can Pollard really handle? I will make note, the Cowboys said for years, we can't give him more, we can't give him more, he can't handle a bigger workload. He'll regress. He really hasn't. 86 versus 193, average dip by 0.01. That's a non-tangible difference there. The question is, what happens behind Pollard for the under roughly 200 carries, give or take? Is it a different veteran? Does one of Vaughn or Jones and or Dowdle Davis impress? If so, awesome. If not, slight red flag there. So rate the Cowboys roster for me, Madden style, 1 to 99. 1 on the low end, not on the high end. It's the pinned comment on today's show. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Wide receivers, better. And this is basically due solely to one Brandon Cooks. You made a mistake by dumping Amari in the fashion that you chose to do so. In theory, Michael Gallup is healthier and plays better. Looks more like previous Michael Gallup, which would be a big deal for the Cowboys because if you can even get 2020 Michael Gallup, that's a lot better than a guy that just wasn't confident, didn't look good, and made a lot of mistakes out there at wide receiver. Maybe somebody like a Jalen Tolbert takes a step forward, and that's a big thing for the Cowboys. It's still a little bit thin. It's not as good as it's been in years past, but it is better. And that is a step in the right direction for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Father's Day is around the corner, and one thing is for sure, your dad does not need more ties or tools or ugly-fitting baggy tees and polos. This year, give your dad, your father figure, your mentor, your loved one, whatever it is in your life, some true classic gear. Their ultra-soft tees are fitted in all the right places with just enough room where you need it, and you'll never want to wear anything else. But True Classic isn't just about the tees. They have everything you need to complete a wardrobe, from button-downs to Henleys to polos, jeans, chinos, activewear, perfect for anyone who wants to stay comfortable while staying active. They also offer 100% risk-free guarantee and easy returns. With affordable prices and high-quality clothes, True Classic is a no-brainer for anyone looking to upgrade their wardrobe. Don't settle for anything less than the best. Try True Classic today. Go to trueclassic.com/chat and use promo code chat to get 25% off your order plus free shipping on any purchases over $100 combined. Give your dad a gift that he will love this Father's Day, some True Classic. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Tight ends is next up here. Question mark on this one. Better or the same compared to last year's group? The year before that, with what you were replacing for Dalton Schultz, I thought was a bit more valuable than what you're replacing this year. So maybe there's room for some upgrade there. In theory, the three young players, Luke Schoonmaker, Jake Ferguson, and Peyton Hendershot, will not just replace Schultz, but offer some more impact, some more ability in big plays, etc. There is still Sean McEwen. The tight end room is unproven, but it's not untalented, which I feel okay about this group, but they will be one to monitor fairly early on. Offensive line, I'm going to go with concerning because I'm not sure it is better. If everyone stays healthy an entire season, it is. They're not going to stay healthy an entire year. That's not how Tyron Smith plays anymore. When he's out there, he's still good. But this version of Tyron, the one with just massive wear and tear and will miss anywhere from 5 to 11 games every season, it's a red flag. The best 5, which Stephen Joe's made a big deal about, is this 5, I would say in this order. But if Dallas wants to play Tyron Smith left tackle, which I get that's going to be his long-term home, who's your left guard? I don't think Terrence Steele's a good fit. Could you try Tyron Smith there? I get antsy about moving old, hurt guys to new spots. That's how old, hurt guys get hurt again pretty quickly. There's been a trend of that across league for an offensive lineman. It's just it's a different motion set, and it does lead to some issues there. Does that mean it's Chuma Adoga if and when Tyron goes down? Is it Matt Farniak? Is it Josh Ball? Do you try a tackle? Is it Austin Richards? That's a lot of question marks at left guard have me worried about that spot. To defense now. I'm going to go better. This makes sense when you spend your first round pick on the spot, but I do think this defensive tackle grouping will be better than what the Cowboys have put out last year. Now, they made moves to address it. Remember they traded for Jonathan Hankins? Oh, he's back. I'm hopeful, not locked in on the likelihood of a Osa Odigizua breakout year. Can you give me like 5 or 6 sacks? I'd be happy. Mazi Smithing will play a big role for you. Chauncey Golston, Junior Fehoko, Jonathan Hankins, even Bohanna Galmore. Those guys might have a team. Those are decent depth for your 5th or 6th defensive tackles. So it is definitely a better group for me. Now, how many sacks do you think Mazi Smith will have this year? He's a nose guard, working on a pass rush plan, so it shouldn't be a high number. But sound off in the comments section for how many sacks you think Mazi Smith gets this year. Defensive ends, same thing. We're going to run it back again, which is not a bad thing at all with what the Cowboys were able to do for the most part last year. Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler. That is a very quality top 5 at defensive end. That is among the better groupings in the entire NFL. I'm not going to assume Tack McKinley makes this roster. They gave Tyrus Reed a decent signing bonus. I like Darrell Johnson a bit coming out of Liberty. So there's some good young pieces, too, beyond your big stars at edge rusher. Now, we have year-round Cowboys coverage. Even when it's the dog days of June and July before camp and after there's not much going on, we still have you covered. If you love the Cowboys, if you just like talking football, hit that sub button right now for more free Cowboys videos. Linebackers. I'm going to go similar. Might be better getting rid of Anthony Barr. Might not be any better if Damone Clark or Jabril Cox or DeMarvion Overshown don't take a step forward. Now, there are young pieces beyond Leighton Vander Esch who, under the radar, kind of need him to stay healthy. Otherwise, it's a bit dicey. In theory, I'm still on the theory aspect there, Damone Clark will be better instead of rehabbing in the offseason. He gets to just get better. Overshown's a 3rd-round pick. Devin Harper, Jabril Cox, recent draft picks. They like Isaiah Land. It is still some unprovenness, but it's not like Anthony Barr played that well last year anyway. Cornerbacks, better. This one's pretty easy for me. They are just in a better spot than what they were last year when they were decimated by injuries. They lose Anthony Brown. Stephon Gilmore comes in. Deron Bland played really well last year. Jordan Lewis is an awesome number 4 corner. Worst case, Israel Mukuamu can be your safety nickel hybrid. And maybe one of your young guys, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Eric Scott, turns out to be a CB5 or 6. It's all you need from those guys right now. So you're in much better shape than where you were this past offseason. So it's definitely better, especially from where it was at the end of last year when you were trying guys off the streets and Davy Road, etc. Now, the big battle is going to be nickel, and it's a clear favorite. Who do you think wins that job as CB3? DB for Deron Bland or JL for Jordan Lewis? Safety, to wrap things here on defense, same as last year. They're going to run it back, and that's a good thing. For years, I begged for safety talent and additions. The Cowboys added no safeties this year, and they didn't need to because Jaron Kearse, Donovan Wilson, who re-signed, Malik Hooker, Mukuamu, Marcus, well, even developmental guys like Tyler Coyle, Wanye Thomas, potential practice squad guys, that's a good room. Now, next year, Kearse and Hooker will be free agents again, but the safety room as constructed is one of the better ones in the NFL, which is the first time in a long time I've said about that particular grouping for the Dallas Cowboys. Special teams time, need help. Looking at you, kicker, which is by definition worse and might end up finishing as a little bit worse from that perspective. Tristan Vizcaino is the only kicker right now on the active roster. That is it. There's nobody else on the team. Brian Anger is there as punter. Trent Sieg is your new long snapper. Kevontae Turpin was a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he should have been the Pro Bowler, but hey, that's fine. Backup options, maybe Deuce Vaughn fights for that role potentially early on. They'll give him a chance at least there. So special teams, got to figure out kicker. And look, Brett Maher played pretty well last year. So we'll wait and see what ends up happening on that front up until, of course, the playoff game. But kicker is the standout area where the Dallas Cowboys still need some help. And I think they'll find some help in the not-too-distant future. We will have a video for you if and when, well, I guess if they end up signing a kicker, I promise you.